Welcome to Season 4 of My Wife the Dietitian, a fun, evidence-based weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy living. Today we are discussing a case study about how meal size and timing are critical for maintaining energy levels throughout the day. Stick around for all the details. Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very good.
Good. Today we're doing a case study. A client that I've used a different name, but we're going to look at what's happening for her.
Okay.
In her circumstances and her energy issues.
Okay.
So.
Sounds like it might be something that applies to a lot of people.
Well, I know it does because she's one of hundreds of clients I've seen with a similar problem and similar concern and similar goals.
Yeah, you say that a lot, it seems, and it seems like there's, you say it a lot, you say, I see this with a lot of my clients.
Yes.
Which means there's a lot of recurring issues that a lot of people are having. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to dive into a case study and sort of look at the specifics and see what's going on. Yeah,
so we're going to call her Tammy.
Okay.
That's not her name, but anyways, Tammy says...
Is it Tammy with an I or Tammy with a Y?
Y.
Okay.
So I'm tired of dragging myself to get through the day. Tell me what foods to eat so I have more energy.
Oh, classic.
Yes. Now, frustrated with her chronic lack of energy plus creeping weight gain, especially around her middle, Tammy has gained 10 pounds since she started her new job in the Lower Mainland. We're in BC, so... Yeah, and that's like she lives and works around the Lower Mainland.
Vancouver area. Yeah, for those who aren't familiar with our local geography. Yeah,
and a lot of times people have to live outside the urban center and have long commutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she listens to our podcast.
Awesome. Well, I wonder if Tammy will know who she is.
Yeah, because it's not her name, but... So for Tammy, there wasn't a day that she didn't feel exhausted by mid-afternoon.
That sounds really familiar. I remember I used to be like that too, and I must have changed. I don't know what I did differently, but I'm doing something differently now. Because I remember by like 2 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I need a coffee. I'm just like, or a nap. I can't get, maybe it's my oatmeal in the morning now that's helping, or I don't know. But I feel good right through the day now, and I didn't used to.
Was that when we lived in Vancouver and you actually commuted the other way? We lived downtown by Vancouver Hospital and you went to the North Shore for work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was up until maybe, I don't know, not long ago. I mean, like 5-10 years ago, maybe. So yeah, I think a lot of my life I was like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And a lot of people that I talk to feel this way. I mean, it is, in our daily rhythm, we do have a bit of a low mid-afternoon. It's pretty common. But she was feeling exhausted and concentrating at work was becoming difficult. And by the end of her workday, she had no energy and couldn't sneak in her workout. And that's when she used to work out, is after work.
Right.
So it was hard enough for her to muster up the strength to prepare dinner for the family when she got home. And she was fed up with feeling sluggish and overweight. And so it was time for her to do something about it. So this is a fairly common scenario, a typical day in a hectic life. So Tammy woke up at 6:30 in the morning, spent an hour getting her kids ready for school and feeding them breakfast, a meal that she neglected to eat herself.
No, that happens.
She says, there's no time.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yeah. You eat what's left in the kids' bowl.
I don't even think she did that.
No.
Partly too, I think there's a lot of information out there on social media about fasting and talking about like when you should start eating. And some proponents say start at noon or 1. I agree with fasting overnight. You know, you kind of eat your dinner, maybe a snack before bed, and then you don't eat for 10 hours when you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a shift worker. That's a whole different story. We did an episode on shift work, and they have unique circumstances because of having to be awake at night and then sleep during the day. So that's more tricky to
navigate.
Totally.
Yeah, figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for most people, you want to just eat when you get up, I think, right?
Well, it is an active time period. We wake up, our body starts moving, our digestive system starts to be activated, and our body starts to break down, or it has been breaking down overnight, because as you fast, it's like catabolic. So your body's breaking down, and you want to break that fast. That's why it's called breakfast, to start to build up your body again and give your body some nutrition. And I always say it's like going on a road trip and fueling the gas tank before you start the road trip.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So with Tammy, she had no breakfast. She had a long commute, a 50-minute commute, almost an hour, and arrived in the office by 9 a.m. after rush hour traffic. And she's only been drinking coffee.
Oh, crazy.
So what's coffee doing?
She's good to go. She's like super good to go. Coffee's just, well, yeah. I mean, A, she's going to be feeling wired, and B, it suppresses your hunger,
right?
Doesn't it?
Right.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
I'm trying to get at, like, it's probably spiking her cortisol, which is already kind of elevated because of
that one.
The rush hour.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like wired and tired. Like she's already tired by the time she gets to work, and she hasn't had any fuel.
Right.
You know, so again, like you're limping along without any nutrition.
And you're using coffee to give you that kick to kind of like overcome your tiredness, and you need that kick of energy to like give you that boost to get going, especially when you got kids to deal with. It's different if it's just yourself, but when you have your whole family, you need to help get out that door. You kind of need that like little surge of power to, you know, like I understand coffee. I drink it myself, and probably for the same reasons. But if you're doing that instead of eating, then yeah, you're missing a whole bunch of stuff that you definitely need that time of day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because busy family schedules, the stressful work deadlines, just taking care of yourself all take energy. It takes fuel.
Exactly.
So she gets to her office and starts working at her desk, and then realizes how her stomach is grumbling. And so then that prompts her to go grab a bagel and cream cheese.
Ah, it seems like a filling option. I know that because I've done the same thing. You know, like something big and filling, and that'll take care of the stomach grumbling, right?
Yeah. And we know with bagels in particular, they've been growing in size.
Oh, yeah.
Like especially the kind that you get when you're eating out or like at a restaurant or a cafe.
Yeah.
They're much bigger than they used to be. So that's a lot of refined carbs. We talked about that. And then...
yeah, it's like almost, well, it's probably 3 servings of bread or something, isn't it?
Probably, or 4.
The equivalent of.
Yeah. And she's probably really hungry at this point. Has like a white bagel with basically added fat, because with cream cheese, there's not much protein in that. So she's lacking protein and fiber, right? And her hectic morning schedule leaves no time for breakfast. So then has quick bites at erratic times during the day. And then she's so ravenous by the end of the day, dinner becomes a feeding frenzy, and she eats a lot at dinner.
Right. Yeah, I've been there too. Like you kind of save it up for dinner, and then you go overboard, and you're so ravenous that you're not making good food choices, and you're just eating everything in sight. Yeah,
absolutely.
And you kind of justify it, but it's like, well, I haven't eaten all day, so it's okay. I need this, you know, I need these calories, and I can eat whatever because my body needs it because I haven't eaten all day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people do skip meals to save calories, and that totally backfires. I don't have a lot of clients who are eating regular breakfasts that want to lose weight.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh.
It seems to be a trend
I was going
where,
to say, yeah, it's such a trend.
you know, either it's a fasting trend or they're just...
Don't have time.
Or they use the idea of fasting to rationalize not eating breakfast.
I think that's very common.
Yeah. And then they have problems with weight gain and low energy and cravings during the afternoon and evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our dog does that. And I kind of joked that because he won't eat until after lunch kind of thing. And I joked that he's doing the fasting thing.
Right.
So we'll pour a bowl of food for him in the morning and he'll just kind of look at it and walk away. It's like, oh, he's fasting. He's gonna wait till later.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because obviously there's an innate kind of feelings of hunger and fullness, and he's not following a diet or anything.
No,
so,
exactly.
I mean, everyone's different. So some people are night owls and they're not like morning people. Other people are morning larks and they wake up and they, you know, start their day. And so obviously you take that into consideration too. Mm-hmm. But if you recognize that maybe you're eating a late dinner, say you're eating after 8 and maybe you're eating a big amount, you won't be hungry in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah. Your body will still be processing that big dinner from the night before.
Yes. I've worked with people where we shift that around, and I talk about eat like a king for breakfast, prince for lunch, and pauper for dinner. And so the idea is front load your day with more nutrition, like start your day with a lot of good variety and diversity and a balance of nutrition. And by the end of the day, you don't feel as hungry. You don't feel like you want to just eat your arm off.
Exactly. You'll sleep a lot better too, because you're not going to bed with this huge amount of food in your belly that your body needs to process and digest, which interrupts your sleep typically. Mm-hmm. So then you sleep better, and then you don't feel tired when you wake up. So it's a whole cycle.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. So we worked together and I suggested, you know, having breakfast, like take 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and eat a well-balanced breakfast, something that has some protein, some fiber, some good variety, even making something like the night before, like overnight oats is a good example.
Yeah, that's crucial. I think if you're that rushed in the morning, I think it's part of the problem is you just don't have time to make it. So prepare it the night before.
Yeah, plan ahead. That's like a big rule of thumb for sure. And also plan ahead for snacks during the day. So bring food to your workplace if you can. Trail
mix. It's my go-to. It's easy, and it's got that fiber and that protein and the fats that you need. Mm-hmm. It's a great snack.
And a lot of times our meals are lacking in potentially calcium or fruit. So that would be a good time to bring, you know, a little Baby Bell cheese or Laughing Cow cheese and some grapes or some, you know, a banana or some fruit to work. Mm-hmm. Or even yogurt and fruit or cheese and Mary's crackers, something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Mm-hmm. I think we've done an episode on
healthy snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
Yes.
Probably done a few. Yeah.
Yeah. And so mid-morning, depending on your schedule, might look around like 10 to 11. And it's amazing. After 2 weeks, Tammy found that she had a big difference in her energy levels. She was no longer exhausted in the afternoons. Her appetite wasn't voracious at the end of the day. She didn't feel like she had to like have 2 or 3 servings at dinner. She had smaller portions at dinner, which were satisfying for her. Mm-hmm. And she lost 3 pounds in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So eating more helped her to lose weight.
So what changes did she make then? Like specifically, what did she do differently? She added breakfast and snacks.
Mm-hmm. And a morning snack. Yeah. And an afternoon snack.
And what was she doing for lunch before? Because I guess that would have stayed the same, but then it's just adding the breakfast and the snacks and having more food throughout the day to keep your body sort of level, right? Like your energy, so you don't have the big dips and whatnot. Is that kind of the idea?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we know that a lot of people know what we should be eating, like the whole grains, the fruits and vegetables, important protein. But how to eat, so spreading throughout the day, can really impact your energy levels and overall health. And so 6 reasons to eat more often.
So yeah, I just wanted to highlight something you said there as well. And this is kind of a message that we've been trying to convey for a while now. But Sandra said that Tammy lost 3 pounds and she was eating more. Right? She wasn't cutting calories. She wasn't skipping meals to lose weight. She was actually eating more food and she still lost weight. So that's kind of something Sandra's been trying to explain to people, and just fueling your body properly actually helps you to lose weight if you're eating the right foods and the right intervals and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to highlight that comment.
Yeah. And we did an episode on eat more to lose weight.
Or eat more to weigh less or something like that. Yeah. It seems like a backwards concept, but once you understand it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's how we're eating, right? We know that animals that gorge, so like animals that eat like just once a day or twice a day, they are really good at storing fat.
Well, they have to.
Yeah. We need consistent energy throughout the day to help fuel our brain and our organs and our energy.
And when we're eating that much, our metabolism stays high, right? Which is what helps us to burn off the weight. Is that kind of why you're losing weight when you're eating more?
Yeah, because it does affect our hormones and how, like insulin, how it's released. So if we're just eating 1 or 2 meals later in the day, it's not good for our blood sugar levels. A lot of times the afternoon slump where you feel really tired, it's because of low blood sugar levels.
Right.
And that could mean that the lack of glucose is causing headache, dizziness, tiredness, shakiness. It could be you have difficulty concentrating or irritability. So those symptoms are basically saying eat.
Right. Yeah.
Eat more often. So that's one of the reasons to eat more often is more energy. So, and snacks can bring nutrition into a busy lifestyle. So meaning that a lot of times our meals might lack certain nutrients that we can bring in with our snacks. And the one I'm talking about mostly here is calcium.
Okay.
Because that's one that a lot of times our meals don't have a source of calcium.
Right.
So you could bring that in with a snack.
Okay. And by calcium, you're talking like dairy products typically, like cheese, yogurt. What else? Fish, I guess. Calcium with it. Is that?
Almonds and, like you said, like trail mix. So some of those foods have a good source of calcium.
Okay. And what else? I guess the things I mentioned already.
Like cottage cheese and fruit, or yogurt and fruit. Maybe the cheese and crackers, or cheese and fruit are all some ideas. Also, almond butter or nut butter or seed butter with fruit or crackers.
Those are usually easy things to pack in a lunch too, so helpful that way.
So the other thing is better brain power. So we know that our brain and nervous system rely on glucose for energy, and it nourishes our brain cells. So our attention span and short-term memory are likely to improve with nutrition. So if you're eating breakfast, that helps improve your thinking power later in the morning.
Right.
And it also helps with mood and memory, feelings of calmness, and also our energy level.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. it surprises me that at least it's my understanding that corporations and big businesses where there's a lot of people working and they kind of want to maximize efficiency, that they don't sort of stress nutrition as being part of that equation, Like I've heard stories about, businesses in Japan, I think, where they have to all get out in the yard in the morning and do their morning exercises together before they work. And I think they understand the importance of, how health impacts your ability to perform, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But here in North America, it doesn't seem to, at least like I said, my understanding is that the majority of places I don't think are stressing your diet and your health. They just want you to get behind your desk ASAP and get at it. But if they focused a little bit more on health and nutrition as being part of the workday, it might actually help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, if eating smaller meals more often can control your appetite, can it help you lose weight? It sounds logical, right? If you consistently eat less at mealtimes, you're bound to save enough calories to gradually shed a few pounds. So eating several small meals a day instead of 1 or 2 big meals helps the body burn fuel more efficiently. So gorging on 1 or 2 calorie-laden meals makes it easy for our body to store energy as fat.
So you're saying we should eat smaller meals more often? Is that?
We should start the day with eating.
Mm-hmm.
And then, basically a good rule of thumb is not going longer than 4 hours.
Right. Okay.
Just to keep your blood sugars pretty consistent, through the day, so that you're not having low blood sugars.
I think that's one thing I've changed, because I used to have huge meals, but I wouldn't eat as often because I was busy in between my meals. And then I would have these huge meals and I'd feel tired in between. And so maybe that's one thing I've changed, and definitely have a big solid breakfast now. That's probably the biggest thing I've changed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this worked for Tammy. It works for a lot of clients I have. So number 3 reasons to eat more often would be improved nutrition. Basically, you're getting more of your nutrition over the day than especially if you're including good quality snacks, like not just junky food.
Right.
And we did episodes on that, so people can refer back. We'll put them in the show notes.
Yeah, exactly.
But breakfast eaters are more likely to meet their daily targets for calcium, iron, folate, niacin, vitamin A and D, and zinc, plus fiber. So if you skip your breakfast, it's hard to make up for those nutrients later in the day.
Right. Yeah, I think we've discussed that idea before.
And also better cholesterol. So that's number 4. It actually helps with the way your body processes fats and what happens with cholesterol. So there was a University of Toronto study where people ate 6 small meals, and they found that it's better than 3 large meals with no snacks. So it actually reduced the cholesterol by 8%. And this was a potential of 16% reduction in heart attack risk.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't about what they ate, because they ate the same food, but it was spread out.
I see.
So it was about when they ate.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
And number 5 reason to eat more often is appetite reduction. So as we mentioned before, if you skip meals to save calories, it really backfires. I see this all the time with people that ask about how to prevent cravings. I'm always having cravings. And then we get into it and I see that they're not having a breakfast and they're kind of just running on coffee through the day.
Yeah.
And we know that people that eat breakfast tend to have less cravings. So these are things to ask yourself if you're having lots of cravings. Are you eating breakfast? Are you not eating carbs? That could also send you to have more cravings.
Okay.
Are you skipping meals? Are you eating enough food over the day? Because that's your body saying, I need more food. And you get the cravings.
Right.
So we talk about food is like air.
Okay.
In terms of our body needs air, obviously.
Sure.
And our body needs food. And a lot of times when I see people that have been on diets and chronically on some diet or another. And maybe they're not calling it a diet, they call it a lifestyle, but it's still really a diet because there's external rules and there's something they're following.
Yep.
And if they're like, just let's say the fasting. So they have this external rule of they can't eat till 1 p.m.
Right.
Which might not actually fit into their life or their work schedule. That might totally throw things off. But it's this external rule about 16 hours of fasting. So you're basically cutting your body off from fuel. It's like cutting your body off from air. It's like going, swimming and going under the water, holding your breath, coming up for air, but then a big wave hits you and you got to hold your breath longer. And then you finally get to come up for air. And oh my God, it's like you're starving for air.
Exactly.
Well, it's like you're starving for food, because especially if you've been doing this over and over, like day after day, and you're trying to function, you're trying to take care of your family, you're trying to do well at work, meet all the deadlines, and trying to take care of yourself. But really, you're not taking care of yourself at all because you're preventing yourself from eating. And food is fuel just like air is. So it's important when we wake up, break the fast, eat something.
Yeah.
Don't just look at the clock and say, oh, it's only been 12 hours of fasting. I have to do another 4. I'll just have coffee because that's what I'm allowed.
Right. Exactly. It's crazy.
So you're basically running on fumes. And then what happens is at the end of the day, out of control hunger, binging, gorging, right?
Yeah, making up for it.
Yeah, because
your body still needs it.
Yeah.
Even though you might think that, oh, I'm tricking my body, I'm not eating, blah, 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 I'm doing this benefit to my body, but your body's like, screw that, I need food, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're basically eating the same amount of food, you're just doing it all at once, and it's not ideal.
It's usually more. It ends up being more.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And a lot of times, we do it secretively or, and we feel shame around it and we feel guilt. And then what does that do to our mental health? Like this is that whole cycle of like, it could be like binging, purging, repenting, like feeling super guilty. And then the whole cycle continues and goes on. So there's no moral judgment. Like you need food. Your body needs food. I give you permission to eat.
Yeah.
Because especially women in our society, it's so hard, like you look at you go shopping for clothes in size 0. And like, that's what people's goals are, like to be a 0. Like what's 0? Nothing. Like really, we need to be that small that we're nothing. Anyways, that's a little bit of a rant, but it just shows though. I mean, everyone wants to lose weight, get skinny, disappear pretty much. But we need strength. We need energy. We need muscle. We need mass. We need bones. If we want to have quality of life and independence as we get older and longevity. So dieting is just doing so much damage to your mental health and to your self-esteem and your self-confidence. So fuel yourself, give yourself nutrition, and try to listen to your hunger cues and try to eat regularly through the day.
I think we've learned to, like you said, especially women have learned that food's like the bad guy because it leads to weight gain, but only if you're doing it wrong. But I think that there's so many diets that encourage people to avoid certain things that they think that food is bad. And so eating more is going to be bad. Eating food, period, we've learned is, food is what leads to weight gain. So therefore I should limit how much I'm consuming, but it's having the reverse effect. Yeah.
Food is fuel. We need it. We need the nutrition. If we're lacking in nutrients, then it affects our health. Bottom line.
Yeah. We need to look at food as in a positive way and change how we think of it.
Yeah. Change our relationship with food.
Food is our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it really depends on how you were raised and how it was around the dinner table, or, like what were the conversations about? And how was food viewed by your parents, by your caregivers, by your siblings? You know, it really affects, as we get older, how we view eating.
And what we teach to our own kids. That whole cycle continues, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I see clients all the time that were raised with their dad saying they're starving kids in Africa. You finish everything on your plate. And now when we're eating, if there's anything left on the plate, they have to eat it. You know, they don't think about it. It's not like they're consciously thinking of when they were young, but it was an emotional reaction at the dinner table with their family, and it taught them early on that they have to eat everything on their plate. So what happens when you're older? You don't need as many calories. Our plates are getting bigger. Our utensils are getting bigger. Our portions are getting bigger, especially if you eat out.
Yeah.
Those things are all contributing to people that are overeating or eating a lot later in the day. And part of the problem is they're not fueling themselves when they wake up.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's relearning how we eat. Because I mean, it makes sense if you think, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm eating too much, I'll skip breakfast because that'll be good. But yeah, it's the wrong way to approach it, and it's relearning how we think about food and being
more gentle on yourself, because we're hard on ourselves, and it's important to give yourself grace. And, you know, it's a change in learning new habits, healthy habits. And this is important to nourish yourself.
Absolutely. Great tip, Sandra. Thanks for sharing that today. It's good to revisit some of those ideas because I think we need to hear them multiple times before the concept's going to sink in. So hopefully that was helpful for everyone. And get that breakfast into you. It's the best way to start the day. We've got lots of great information and other tips on our website if you want to check that out. It's mywifethedietitian.com. We've got a great newsletter that comes out once a week that's free to join. There's a link for that on the website as well. You can also email us your questions. If you'd like us to discuss something on the show, we're more than happy to do that. We like answering listeners' questions. And yeah, feel free to shoot us an email. It's mywifetherd@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well. If you want to check us out there, you can send us a message there as well, or just give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're enjoying the show. That's super helpful to us. Another way to let us know you're enjoying it is by rating and reviewing. That's really helpful. Lets us know that we're on the right track, and it helps other people who are looking into the show and gives them an idea if it's something that they would enjoy too. You can also share with your friends. It's something that's easy to do, and I'm sure your friends would appreciate it. If you found something that you're enjoying, then they probably would too. So that is it for today. We'll be back on Wednesday with Nutrition Nuggets. So until then, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.